Hi everybody, it's the end of the month, so it's time to show you all the pages I got coloured during April of 2024. My theme for the month was mushrooms, and I did manage to get a few done, not as much as I really wanted to because work was pretty heavy this month, so not as much colouring time as I would have liked. There is a few towards the end there, so I will show you, but I'm going to start with this one. This is the first one I coloured from Colouring Heaven Mysterious Women Special by Maud Lamoine, and she's one of my favourite artists, so yeah, I really did enjoy colouring this one. This is the ladies we coloured here, and this one was coloured for a video on the channel because I was asked in my comments whether I could show how to colour dark skin tones with Crayola pencils. I managed to get a couple of darker skin tones going there, one more towards the warmer tones and one towards the cooler tones with the purple as a background, and I think she was my favourite, yeah, using the purple as the kind of base colour there, but I think both have worked really nicely. And to try and kind of complement that, I gave this warm-skinned lady the blue flowers and nice cool blue flowers as a bit of contrast, and the cool-skinned lady had the yellow flowers. And around those flowers I did use some glitter gel pen just to go around the line art around those flowers. There's a gold for the yellow flowers and a silver for the blue flowers. I'm not sure if those will show in the lamp. Glitter never wants to show. And I did use my stick-on crystals there as well, some kind of clear diamond ones for the blue flowers and some kind of gold yellow ones. The ones I bought for my pound shop challenge, those are the ones I used for these yellow flowers, and I think those have worked really well. All the rest is the Crayola pencils with some white gel pen for highlights. I used the white gel pen to go around the line art here for these flowers because they were kind of lighter, paler grey kind of outlines there in the background, so I thought I'd use the white to kind of push them back. I did end up bringing in some paper collage as well for this lady's top here. This is actually paper where I cut out the shape here and placed the paper behind it and then just went in for a little bit of shading, actually with a blue pencil on her top there. I'm not sure if that will show up on camera, but yeah, there we go. And the background as well, that's paper collage. Yep, we can see again I cut out the shape and then stuck the paper behind, and I found this paper that graded from like the purple kind of colour at the top down to a more warmer orange at the bottom, and I thought that really complemented the whole idea I had going on with this kind of colouring with the warmer and the cooler colours. So yeah, I used that into the background and really pleased with how that turned out, I think. Oh, I gave them both little nose studs as well. I just realised that, but yeah, they seemed to suit it, so I went with that, and yeah, pretty pleased with how that one turned out. That's the first one that I coloured. That is Mysterious Women Special, Colouring Heaven by Maud Lamoine. I am pretty Colouring Heaven heavy this month, I think, with my colourings. And this next one we're moving on to is another Colouring Heaven, the Gothic Fantasy Special, this one by Enys Guerrero. And this is one of the ones that I actually managed to colour that had mushrooms in it. And again, I kept with the Crayola pencils. There we go, this is the one I coloured in here. I was keeping with the Crayola pencils because they were what was out on the desk at the time, so I carried on with those, and I tried to make these mushrooms look as if they were kind of glowing because again, bringing in the other half, I was just saying, what colour shall I make these mushrooms? And he was kind of half joking, he said grey, so I was like, okay, challenge accepted. So I made some grey mushrooms, and there's some really nice kind of cool grey colours in the Crayola 100 set, so I used those, brought those in, tried to make it look as if the mushrooms were the main kind of light source, lighting the lady from like both sides there. I did bring in some metallic watercolour. I brought in the silver for the moon, and her hair is actually a kind of white, sort of pearl colour. Yeah, that's shining quite nicely there. I shaded that with a dark grey, and I put a lot of white highlights in. I might have gone around all the line art with the white gel pen actually there, looking at it. If I didn't, there's some very heavy white highlights going on there, so that was really fun. I brought on my stick-on crystals again. I added a couple of red ones because I wanted to keep the whole picture mainly monochrome with the greys going on from the grey mushrooms. I tried to keep the whole picture sort of monochrome with the grey colours and just bring in the red for her bows and these little crystals on her eye makeup there, which I think worked really well. There's a little bit of gold gel pen there for this star. And I think I went around the outline of the moon with a gold Sharpie, but it looks like it was kind of running out a little bit, so that line art is just about covered there. I framed the whole page with some silver, really thin silver washi tape, and I stuck on some little star stickers into the background as well. You see those little star stickers going on in the background. This background, the blue, I did that with chalk pastel, shading up from the black and the darker blue down the bottom here up to a lighter blue, because the moon theoretically would be shining in the background there, so there would be a bit of a light source there as well. So yeah, really happy with how that turned out. I do love the effect of the kind of monochrome greys with just the red kind of as the main colour. So there we go, that's that one that I coloured in the Gothic Fantasy Special, this one by Enys Guerrero. Next I'm bringing in the Winged Fantasy Special. This is by Adele Lorienne, but the picture I coloured isn't actually in this magazine. I just needed to show the picture that I did colour in this magazine. This is the one that I did colour here, and that was for a tutorial because I was asked how I coloured this one, which was actually in the Winged Fantasy Special, just to show. And this is the one that I coloured on camera mainly, showing how I did most of those areas there. So I'll get rid of this one now. Pop that to the side, and this is the one that I coloured mostly on camera for a little bit of a tutorial, and I showed how I got each of these different areas here. And this one is mainly coloured with the Big Kids pencils, which I still have out on the side there, just coloured with those Big Kids pencils there, and a pack of cheap gel pens. Might be a couple missing out of there, but those are the cheap gel pens, again from the pound shop. And that's pretty much all I used to colour this, along with a few, stick-on crystals. Yeah, if I can get those shining away. Yeah, a few stick-on crystals there. A couple of nice shaped ones there. There's a diamond or square there. Heart shape, the rest of the little diamond kind of clear ones. There's a couple of green ones as well I've put on into the background. Yeah, there's a bit of gold glitter gel pen, again from the cheap set, and some metallic watercolours for the feathers on her hair there. Lots of white gel pen for the outlines. I did go over a lot of the line art here for these kind of white feathers and for her dress there. And it looks like I've brought in some paper collage for her actual dress. Yeah, there we go. I've brought in some paper collage for that dress at the bottom there, just by cutting out the shape and sticking the paper behind it. But yeah, she was pretty fun to do. I do love to sometimes pick up just a cheap set, a really small set of pencils, and see what I can get done with that. Oh yeah, I do need to mention for this one, I did manage to spill coffee on it. I think it was down here, I managed to spill my coffee, so I ended up just throwing some more coffee to get this little kind of splattered effects in the background. So I thought I'd just, add some more to make it look like more of a design decision than it was an accident. So I just threw some more drips of coffee on there. And I went around the very edges of the paper. I'm not sure if we can make that stand out. Yeah, I'll just grab some scrap paper there so we can see. I did go around the very edges of the paper there with a gold, was that a gold Sharpie or a gel pen? Yeah, we do have a very thin outline there around the very edges of the page. And I did stick on this little butterfly here, it's a very glittery little butterfly, little embellishment that my mum gave me. And I figured, why not? I'm going to put it on. It goes with the purple of her hair, and it looks pretty up there in that corner. But yeah, that one was done as a tutorial to show how I did that other picture from the Winged Fantasy. And I think they work nicely as a pair, I think, both of those, and quite happy with how she's turned out. Pretty relaxing to do that one. But there we are. That one is from Adele Lorienne, and that download is from the Colouring Heaven Woodland Fantasy Special, which I will link in the description. You can still buy that one. It's sold out as a physical copy, but you can still buy the download of that one, so I'll pop that in the description. And I think this one might be on Adele Lorienne's Etsy. I'm not entirely sure, so if it is, I will pop that in the description as well. Otherwise, I'll just link the digital Colouring Heaven. But there we go, that's that one from Adele Lorienne. Next, we're moving on to Fantasy Figures Special Colouring Heaven. This one is also by Maud Lamoine, so yeah, I was really happy to be colouring in this one again, because this is an issue that I do want to finish at some point. So yeah, I was happy to be able to colour in this one. And this is the lady that I coloured. There we go, this lady here. And this one was for the challenge on the Friends of Colouring Heaven Facebook group, because the challenge this month was to colour a picture using rainbow colours for autism awareness. I'm not sure if it's Autism Awareness Month or Autism Awareness Week, but the challenge was to use the rainbow colours, and this is the lady that I did in the rainbow colours. She's all done in alcohol markers with pencil shading. because I wanted to practice blending my alcohol markers, so get a couple of these gradients going with the colours. Starting to get the hang of it, I think, or I hope, fingers crossed, and it was fun to play around with that. You can see there, yeah, all the alcohol markers, just with the pencil shading and the white gel pen. And of course I brought in my stick-on crystals for a little tiara there. There we go. And this one was actually a buddy colour as well, with Bubble of Colouring. I will link her channel. She's on Instagram and on YouTube. I will link those channels in the description below, and I'll just move over there. There we go. You can see that she's taken a completely different colour scheme, a completely different kind of feeling than mine there, but I do love how hers has turned out. I think it's really lovely. I do love that background. I am obsessed with that background. Purple is my favourite colour, so maybe I'm a tiny bit biased there, but I do love how hers has turned out. And it was super fun once again to be buddy colouring with you, so thank you so much for that. So there we go, that is from Maud Lemoine. That is Fantasy Figures Special from Colouring Heaven. Next is also one that I did on camera. This one is kind of from Ladies of Leisure 2 by Zan von Zed, but this is a picture that I traced out and I changed it like pretty much completely, I think, because I'm a big fan of the Fallout kind of series and the game. And after having watched the series on TV and gotten back into playing the game, I really wanted to colour something kind of Fallout related, but I don't think there is a Fallout colouring book or anything like that. So what I did is I traced out this picture and I changed it a little bit. And I changed her into a character from Fallout. We can see there is the picture there in the actual book, and we can see how I've changed her outfit. I traced her out using my light pad. I changed her outfit. I got rid of the background because trees are not something that I really love to colour anyway, so I got rid of those trees and I put in this kind of shape here of the vault door, kind of an iconic shape from Fallout for anyone who's actually watched or played. And yeah, I coloured that with my markers and pencils. And then I cut out the lady and the background shape and I mounted her onto this kind of pastel paper, which I have grunged up on the corners there with a little bit of chalk pastel, rubbing that in with a tissue. Then I added in the white kind of gel pen outlines, which I think has worked super well. And I was so pleased with how she turned out. I really, really, really enjoyed colouring that one because I'm a big fan of Fallout. So yeah, it was really fun to do. This texture in the background here, we got by putting down the base layer of the markers and then dabbing on the hand gel. The hand cleanser gel here, and that gives this really nice texture that I really do love, which I was hoping to make look like kind of rusted metal to fit in with the theme that we had going on. There was a tiny little bit of pencil shading on top of that as well. The rest of it is all markers with the pencil shading, and that one is a video on the channel where I've shown how I've done each different area. I'll put it all together in one video in case anyone was interested in the process for that one of changing the colouring book page here into something completely different. So yep, as I said, really, really pleased with that one, and I really enjoyed actually colouring that one in. Really fun. I think that one's my favourite from this month of the ones that I've coloured in, because I am such a fan and because I really, really enjoyed colouring it. So yep, that one is my favourite from this month. It's based on the picture by Zan von Zed from Ladies of Leisure 2, with a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of adjustment. But yeah, that one is from Ladies of Leisure 2 by Zan von Zed. Next, we're moving on to the Dark Fantasy Special Colouring Heaven by Enys Guerrero. And before I show you this first picture, I'm going to have to give a little bit of a trigger warning because this lady does have scars along her arms. Enys Guerrero is a pretty dark kind of gothic artist, and she does like drawing scars onto her ladies. You can see one there on the cover, just a little one. And this lady does have scars on her arms. So if anybody doesn't like to see that, doesn't want to see that, then please look away now. And I will say when I've moved on, you'll be able to look after that. But this lady, this first one I'm going to show you, she was a whip for a very, very long time. I'll pop a screenshot up here of what she looked like before I actually started work on it more recently. This is from my whips video, so the quality isn't going to be that great, but I will pop it up anyway so you can see what she did look like. You can see all I've done is colour a few of the mushroom caps there over on the bottom left. And that's all I'd really done. I think I got that far and I got a bit intimidated because there was just so many mushrooms. And I think that was before I actually got my big set of markers. So I was a bit worried about colouring the whole thing with the pencils without using a marker base. I have done her skin, based her skin, but I think I didn't have my big set of markers, so I was a bit unsure there. So that's what it looked like before I started. And this one is a little bit of a tutorial on how I colour the mushrooms. This is called Not Your Alice, and as you can see there is a heck of a lot of mushrooms in that picture, and I do love colouring mushrooms. Once I got started I didn't really want to stop colouring these mushrooms, but there was so many. I think once I'd done this I was a bit put off doing mushrooms for the rest of the month, to be honest. I think there is one other mushroom picture coming up, but once I'd done this, yeah, I didn't want to see another mushroom for quite a long time. I think it has turned out really, really well though. I do love the way these colours blend together to give mushrooms. This is the colour combination I usually use for colouring mushrooms. So I stuck with that because that's what I'd done to colour these original ones here. And the ones I've coloured more recently, the colours are a lot more kind of bright and vibrant, even though I used the same pencils. And I think that's a combination of things, like maybe my shading, my blending technique has improved or changed a little bit over time. And I think because these I was actually blending with the white Arteza pencil, the Arteza Expert pencil, instead of using the polychromos. So I think that maybe there's a bit of wax bloom, a little bit of a white layer going on over the top of those ones there. But hopefully that's showing up. It is a very, very slightly different colour there on those mushrooms in the corner. The rest of it is marker based, apart from the caps of the mushrooms. We can see by flipping over to the back here. Apart from the caps of the mushrooms there, everything else is marker based. And I just shaded that with the few pencils and some white gel pen highlights, and that's all there is to that one really. No glitter or sparkle, I just tried to keep it to the pencils and the markers. I kept the lady herself to be a traditional Alice in Wonderland, so I gave her the blonde hair, the blue dress. I did give her green eyes, though I didn't stick to blue eyes. I did give her the green eyes. I tried to give her some kind of edgy red lipstick. Maybe that would tone in with the colours on the mushrooms, I don't know. And for this wrap kind of tied around her wrist there, I added some washi tape. So this part here is washi tape. Everything else is the markers with the pencil shading, and I was super, super pleased with how that turned out. It was a lot of work, even for somebody who does love colouring mushrooms. Ooh, should just straighten her up a little bit there. And then I went on to colour another image in this book, or colour, I'll say in inverted commas, colour, because a video was recommended on YouTube for me by a channel called Colour and Collage with Ems, which I will link in the description below. And her work with collage in colouring books is just really, really inspiring, and I loved it. And I couldn't believe she's only got like 250 subscribers, so I do recommend her channel. She's fairly new, she hasn't got that many videos out at the moment, but I do recommend going and watch those because she's so creative using the collage. She does bits of collage just as collage is, and she brings the collage actually into the colouring books as well, which really inspired me. So for this one, yeah, I got my collage hat on. And anybody who was looking away can look back now. This is the one that I coloured. And this one was also a whip. I will pop a picture up here of what it looked like. There was a tiny, teeny little bit done. Just a little bit of blue on her dress where the ribbons were crisscrossing. So that's all I'd done on this one, and that was mainly to test the paper, because in this magazine there's two different types of paper for some reason. I don't know, maybe they were having problems, I don't know. But the beginning pages, I'm not sure if I can actually show it on the camera, but the beginning pages, they're more of a creamy colour. I'm not sure if that is showing up, but they're more of a creamy colour, a little bit off-white, and this paper is really, really bright white and really shiny, so the pencils are not working super well at all on there. So I thought, well, great idea to, yeah, lovely chance to try out this collage idea that I've got floating around in my head at the moment. So this one is completely collaged apart from her skin. That's all I coloured on this paper. Maybe this tiny little bit of lace is white gel pen. Everything else is collaged. And I was really proud of myself for doing this. It's probably not the best collage in the world. Any of those collage artists out there that I've been watching lately might be laughing at me, but yeah, I was really pleased to get it done. One of my first attempts at a fully collage picture, so yeah, please be nice. Even her hair I managed to cut out of a fantasy art calendar. She did have some flowers here in her hair, I think, and I managed to find these flowers flowers on a greeting card. I also got the butterfly there from a greeting card there because I made a little mistake and there was some line art here that I didn't realise, so I stuck a butterfly to cover that. Yeah, the buttons I cut out of some wood kind of grain paper and put those on, shaded a little bit with the black biro. This black here, these lines, that's washi tape, and the rest is just collage paper with the skin coloured with the pencils, and that was a real struggle. Even with a marker base, that was a real struggle to colour that skin, so I'm going to have to be a little bit creative colouring the rest of the pictures in this magazine. Thankfully it's not right at the beginning, so there's only a few I would need to really be a little bit creative with, but yeah, I was really pleased with that. But when I had done it, it was a little bit of a struggle figuring out how to get everything kind of stuck down without losing my place where everything was supposed to be. But yeah, really, really pleased with her. Maybe not the best collage in the world, but yeah, super pleased with how she's turned out. I do love I've kept to that muted kind of colour scheme with the wooden buttons. So yeah, really pleased with that one. The next one is also based around the kind of collage inspiration I've got going on at the moment. I'm really inspired to be cutting and sticking, and it is really fun to do. I did enjoy doing this one. So I'll show you the next one that we moved on to. And the next one is from the Fairy Colouring Book by Nene Thomas. And I picked this one for two reasons. One, it's got mushrooms in it, which tied in with my theme. So yay, another picture with mushrooms, which is really cool. And two, because it was one that I wasn't totally invested in. It's not one of my favourite pictures in the book. It's not one of my usual portraits or figures that I love to colour. So I will show you what we did. Again, not the best collage in the world, so be nice. Here we go. There we go. It's really hard to hold this book open, so sorry about that. It might be glaring a little bit in the lamp as well. But this is the picture that we did. And I have coloured the horse, the mushrooms, and this flower. There's a few leaves in the bottom here. Those were actually printed in the book, so I coloured those. The wings, the background, these two butterflies, or a butterfly and a moth really. And a few bits of foliage down here, the leaves I've cut out and stuck on, and here the background is also collage paper, one of the galaxy themed papers that I got in my pound shop video. I brought one of those in. I really didn't like the background super much. I wasn't feeling it, so I decided to cut all that out. And originally I was just going to cover up the horse's wings. The horse did have wings. I have actually kept the background here so you can see. I forgot to scan in. As I said, I get too excited. But this is what the picture actually looked like before I cut out the background. You can see the horse does have the wings there, but I couldn't find any that just covered those up and kind of were the way I wanted them to be. And I really wasn't feeling these flowers and stuff in the background there. There was originally a butterfly here, which is why I took those butterflies and stuck those on. This is what we ended up with. This butterfly and the wings are from the butterfly colouring book that I've actually used in another video for covering up a background that I messed up. But I cut those out and stick those on. This little moth, here's a sticker. The leaves I got from some leaflets I picked up actually in the supermarket. I think it was for a savings account or something. And they had pictures of pot plants. And I grabbed a few of those and I've cut these leaves out and stuck them on. I think that works really well. So yeah, I'm really happy. I really, really enjoyed doing it because I'm so much geared towards the cutting and the sticking at the moment. It was just so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And again, finally getting back to the mushrooms. So my usual red colours. But instead of using the flesh tone, which I used in the Alice picture, I brought in the yellow to try and bring in this yellow from the butterfly wings. I'm not sure if that's entirely working, but it was fun to try. And yeah, considering this page was one that I wasn't really super fond of, I'm really happy with how that's turned out. Maybe a little bit boring bringing in this kind of galaxy paper for the background, but I couldn't find anything that was leaves and kind of jungle or anything like that, which I think might have also worked, I don't know, but I couldn't find any to try. So I stuck with this kind of galaxy and, oh, I've added a little bit of glitter to the butterfly wings. There we go, a little bit of glitter. So yeah, I was really having fun and playing with that one. Yeah, again, not the best collage in the world, but baby steps, I'm learning, I'm trying. And there we go. That's the last one I actually finished this month. I did start alcohol marker basing another picture. And that would be this one here. All I've done is lay down my alcohol marker base for that one. And the colour scheme is based on a picture that I saw by Emily Lidehall Oberg. She put a picture up on Facebook using this kind of colour scheme, and I really loved it, and I thought I need to try that on a picture with mushrooms. And this is the one I found I thought it would fit in really nicely. But all I managed to do was the marker base, and then I got called into work and not enough time to finish it off. But I will finish that off for next month because I think that's coming along really nicely. That's really working well. And trying a different colour for the mushrooms. I brought in the yellow because I thought maybe if I gave her yellow hair, then I wouldn't be able to do the yellow kind of cat creature. And yeah, I'd rather bring in the pink for her hair because that was the colour scheme. It was 2 different shades of green, pink, the yellow, and a dark brown. So yeah, I think that's going really well. I do love Mystic Art mirrors. So yeah, I think that one's going to be really nice when it's done, and that should be really fun. So that's about all that I managed to get done this month, and I'm moving on to my theme for next month. And next month is my other half's birthday month, so I've let him choose my theme to colour for the next month, and he's chosen metal. He said if I could manage to colour a few robots, then he'd be really happy, and he has been through some of my colouring books and picked out some pictures for me to colour. I've no idea right now if I'll be able to get around to colour them, but I'm going to try my best and maybe figure out a few metallic kind of colour combinations. I'm quite happy with the combo I've got going for gold at the moment, but maybe I can work on my silver or steel, which I still haven't figured out. And I was kind of dabbling with trying to make rose gold, so maybe I can work on that, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. It never goes entirely how you're planning or expecting, does it? But we'll wait and see what next month kind of brings around. For now, though, I hope you've enjoyed looking through all the pages I coloured during April of 2024. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye!